So, it's 1983. An Emirati family was living in منطقة اسمها مطينة. I wish I could speak in Arabic, but I want everyone to understand. And in this family, there were two siblings from my memory. They met an actress called Samira Ahmed. تعرفونها الممثلة سميرة أحمد. She told them they loved pets. So she encouraged them to buy rabbits. They wanted ducks, but she goes, go for rabbits, they're fun. Little did they know that rabbits scratch you, they're noisy. Anyway, so they decided to buy rabbits. Now, the little girl, after having the rabbits for a few years, she really fell in love with those little creatures because they're fun, they're bubbly, they were her only happiness. They were raised in a house of an iron fist father. He was strict. They were not allowed to cough, true story. If they had to cough, they had to run to the bathroom, cough, and come back to the living room. Not a really great environment for children to grow up. But it happens in a lot of households. Maybe you know someone who's strict, who's a control freak. Maybe you know someone who's a narcissist. Maybe you are a narcissist, but you don't want to tell anyone else. People think of you, oh my God, he's a charming man. Look at this beautiful man. He goes in the house and he's another person. Altogether, the mask comes out, and then the narcissist comes alive. So what I want to talk to you today is about fear. Fear that grows like cancer that has absolutely no therapy unless you decide to kill it yourself. But this is the kind of fear that is not the kind of fear that you want to shun away from, but the kind of fear that you want to embrace. When people tell you, be fearless, no. I want to tell you, love your fears. Because it's only when you're afraid you're going to have the guts to find courage. It's only when you're afraid you're going to have the guts to find courage to do the things that are impossible in life. When you are comfortable, nothing happens. It is the worst state of mind. If you're working for a government place, a private place, you've been there 5 years, 10 years, 25 years, you are comfortable, and that's bad news. You are so used to your routine, you are stuck in this mold, nothing changes in your life, and you're happy, you're having your karak chai, you're going to your house. Nothing magnificent, significant, magical is happening, and that's because you are very comfortable. Okay. I know, I sound intense. The topic is intense. I apologize. So, I did a film. اسم الفيلم حيوان. The film is called Animal. It's my first feature film. I haven't shot it yet, but I did a little pilot test. Okay, so I did a little 15-minute pilot test. I'm going to show you the last scene of the film. بخرب عليكم. فبتشوفون آخر دقيقتين من الفيلم. And the film encompasses the love of this child with the rabbit and the reaction of the family. And we can see what happens. Just to give you a little context, to put it in context, this family existed again in the 70s, 80s, around 80s. And the film was shot in my house. And it was shot with zero budget. It was exactly a labor of love. Everybody volunteered to help me to make it. The only reason I did this is because I'm trying to raise money so I can shoot my first feature film, so we can at least finally, in the UAE, have a film in the cinema directed by a Emirati woman, which we still don't. So that's my aspiration. If you know someone who can fund my film, contact me after this event. Thank you. I promise you I'll do a great job. Okay, so let's watch the 2 minutes.
يبي طعم الأرنب؟
Thank you so much. So I just want to say I want to really thank my family. As a little child, they might not have been as scary as I thought they were, but I did live in fear. It made me extremely self-conscious, insecure, never good enough. I was told I'm short all my life. I'm 149 centimeters. I'm wearing heels. This is my real height. And as one of my teachers said, he said, "You're the shortest girl, but you're the loudest and tallest woman I've ever met." And that's because I've come to learn something from my father, which I really appreciate, is the fact to embrace your fear and also embrace different cultures and have a huge tolerance for people. And that really expands your imagination. It also means you become more creative, or it helps you to be more creative, because now you don't have a limitation to where your mind can go. You take all your experiences and just share it with the world. So back in the old days, I told my father I'd like to study. He was very happy. He's like, "That's a good idea. Please go ahead and study. You can go to the Women's College, Al Ain University." And then the magic word came and I said, "Fil Kharaj," overseas. And he looked at me and he smiled. He goes, "Okay, well, if you want to study overseas, you'll have to wait until I'm gone, and then you can study." And I thought it was a joke, but he was serious. So there was absolutely no way for me to go and study cinema, and I was obsessed. To the point where when my parents would go overseas, they would go to all the theme parks and they would play, and I would be stuck in the hotel room watching film after film. I knew there was something just insane about movie making. Anyway, so a long story short, he gave me we made a deal. He said, "If you go to Taqaniyah, Dubai Women's College, and you graduate and get the highest GPA in your department, I will let you go overseas and study." I went to Taqaniyah. I got 6 A's, 1 A plus, 1 B. And I was not allowed to go overseas and study. So the deal was broken. Did I go overseas and study? Yes, I did. I can't tell you why I did or how I did. That's another story. It takes another 18 minutes. But I found a creative way to leave the UAE and study in Canada, Toronto, where I went from 42 degrees to minus 30 by myself. I had no idea what I was doing, but it was the best 4 years of my life. Because not that I just studied cinema, it was a life, it was a schooling of understanding how things work in the real world when you don't have maids in the house, you have to do everything yourself. I was outside, it was really cold, and I'm just waiting for someone to come and put like gas in my car. And no one was coming, and I'm like, why isn't someone serving me? You get the picture, right? So you learn how to grow up. So in those little few years I was there, I learned more than I've ever learned living in the UAE before that, just because I was kind of thrown in the deep ocean. So that was a wonderful learning curve. The other problem was I wasn't allowed to, I wasn't allowed to drive a car. So what I did was, and this was not my dad's problem, I had to break the barriers with my mom. She really had a fear. Her fear was projected on me. She's like, if you drive a car, you're guaranteed you're going to kill someone because your mind moves in like 200,000 kilometers per hour. You're going to kill someone. So what I did was then I signed on behalf of my father. Please don't try that. So I signed on a piece of paper. I took lessons. Both of my parents didn't know I did that, which is not good. But I was very young and very determined. And then I got my driving license. It was the biggest mistake of my life because my parents used me to do all their errands. I do not drive anymore. I don't. Okay, but I did it. I broke that taboo. When I graduated, my dad was scared. Again, fear. He said, I only want you to stick to documentaries. And I'm like, whatever, because documentaries are great, but I really love creating an atmosphere. I'm all about narrative storytelling. وأنا أحس, I feel, إنه وايد عندنا قصص. We have a lot of stories from my culture, from the UAE, that are not told, stories that are like deep rooted in my city that needs to be exported overseas. نحن دوم نجيب أفلام من برا بس ما نصدر أشياء من عندنا نحن يعني أشياء فكرية. We need to take our own films, our own ideologies and spread them worldwide, not always doing it the other way around. We need to create more content. So yes, I did not do documentaries. I started doing narrative filmmaking. So, I promised I will not do anything about violence, discuss religion, or anything else in those realms. Might as well take a sleeping pill and shoot myself. Because as a filmmaker, if you can't do any of this stuff, you're not really telling a story. You're gonna have a bad guy in your film. Someone will die. Someone will take drugs. You want to show the bad guy, but you also want to show the good guy. If I'm doing a film from A to Z, والفيلم كله إيجابي, it's not a film. Do you know what it is? It's a PR campaign. It's a public relation campaign. It's boring. It's not a story. Your life has problems. That's why it's interesting. So I want to take those things and make sure that my country and my family and my society are not scared of showing the truth. Not in a way it's disrespectful for what we believe in, but in a way that it's transparent to showcase the humanity, the realness, the richness of what we have here, with its ugliness, with its beauty. The idea is to package something that can move the heart and soul and really show what we have as storytellers. Please don't do this. How to sneak outside the house. So this was the most craziest thing I've done to break the barrier. Sometimes you have to understand it's good to break a barrier, but make sure you don't break it that it actually puts you in a barrier. ما فهمت شيء روحي. So basically, how to sneak outside your house. I was invited to go to Switzerland by some official government, some official board. I don't remember the name. I do apologize. In راس الخيمة. وقالوا لي تعالي والله بنوديك سويسرا تمثلي الإمارات. They wanted me to represent the UAE. صرت كلمت أبوي كلمت أمي. I spoke to my parents. They're like, لا, no way, مستحيل, no way. ترجيتهم صحت. I said, please, they picked one Khaliji from every Gulf country. السعودية, البحرين, كلهم بيصيرون. And I was the only one picked from the UAE. And they're like, no way, you're not going. I had to say, okay, fine, come with me, send my brother. Everybody was busy, nobody was interested. So what I did was, I called my best friend, I packed my luggage, I put it in her house. I parked my car outside the house. I booked an early flight. My parents don't know about this. Please, I'm not saying this is a great thing to do, but I was so determined to do that conference in Switzerland. At 4 a.m., I woke up in my pajamas, because in case my parents woke up, I'm waking up for Salat al-Subh. I leave the house. This is before Instagram. This was a long time ago. I'm 40 in a few months, by the way. It's a good job, right? Just kidding. Anyway, so basically what happened was, long story short, I didn't run away. I went to Switzerland and I left a message in my outbox. كنت وايد ميت الزياق أرتعش. And in the plane itself, when the plane was about to take off, I sent message after message. My father, my sister, samhouni, please, I love you, blah, 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 blah. Oh my God. I went there. Thank you very much. I reached to Switzerland, I give the quickest 10-minute conference, all this for 10 minutes, yeah? And I travel all the way back, 2 days, one majlis, 18 men. I had to face all of them. One of the guys, without mentioning his name, was crying. And I said, what are you crying? Are you proud of me? He's like, لا خسرناك. I'm like, no, I'm here, I'm in flesh. You should be proud. My country is proud. Be okay. Believe me, that was the best thing I've done. After that day, my father would send me by myself. I'm very proud of you, go. So sometimes you have to be the maverick, you have to hold the torch, but please do it with sensitivity. I did send so many love messages to them. So the idea is that you have to benefit your opponent, and you're halfway there. If you benefit your opponent who's opposing you in life, you are halfway there. And with a lot of love, you just push that love that way, you will reach where you go. The fear that I grew up with was the best thing that ever happened to me. because it gave me courage. It gave me the complete dichotomy of what I was living. Me and my brother created a parallel world that made us survive. The incidents that we witnessed as children made us mature way before the other kid next door. My feature film, I'm very passionate about it. I'm so excited to make it because I think it's going to really rock a lot of kids' worlds, especially kids who come from divorced homes. Not to make things gloomy, but we did have a great time. So, Dad, I met a man. يا الله الحين I have to go to my father. أقول له أبى أتزوج. الحين شو قال؟ أقول له أنا روح يا زيغ ما يتزيغ. I go, I see my dad. I was 38 and a half, 39. And I told him, Baba, أبى أتزوج. والله صار تجف الحين أكلمكم والله. And I'm like, أبويا, I want to get married. My dad was so happy. He's like, وأخيرا بنفتح. He's like, you know, he's like, finally you're going to meet the man. You're going to have الحمد لله الله هداك. And he's like, من قوم منو إن شاء الله من الأهل من you know الفلاسي. كان أقول له الحين شو قايل بقول له أنا من وين إنزين. Here it was the biggest challenge of my life. And ironically, I wasn't so scared. I was actually comfortable. I said, you know what? I've broken so many barriers. This should be okay. تنفست كان أقول له اسمه بيتر. قال لي نعم. What? I married this guy. He's sitting over there. Again, it was the best decision I've ever taken. Absolutely an amazing guy. Guess from where? From Switzerland. I did not meet him in Switzerland, yeah? Coincidence, والله العظيم, coincidence. الرجال أسلم, استوى يوسف وتغيرت الأحوال. فطبعاً وايد هلكت يعني لما أقنعت أهلي. The first woman who agreed was my grandmother. لابسة برقع ها؟ قوية. قالت برايها مستانسة البنت ريال زين هاكو ما بلا شيء. غاوي بعد. بنعدل نفسه ما بلا شيء. محترم والبارحة بعد ياسوي يقول لي قسما بالله لو غلطي يعني ينو قام يتكلم خليجي it's great والعيال إن شاء الله في المستقبل سويسراتي سويس وإماراتي يا سلام. Okay, so by the end I just want to say you can stay here in your comfort zone. Nothing will happen. عادي بتكبرون الحياة حلوة وبسيطة. Or you can decide to live a difficult life, an uncomfortable life, and embrace your fears. But I swear to you, that's where the magic happens. Amazing things will happen in your life. I don't have enough time to tell you what I've seen in my, 39 and a half years of living, but I think I've lived so much that if I go away tomorrow forever, I'm going to go very happy. Because I want to thank my mother-in-law and my father-in-law and my lovely husband, who is the sunshine of my sunshine. I've waited so long for you. And he and I know this sounds cheesy, but he completes me completely every day. I can't even tell you how amazing it is to wait for true love. It does exist. I swear it does exist. ويلا على الرومانسية يلا نكمل. In the end, fear is a good thing. It keeps you alive. It keeps me still alive. I'm still afraid of many things. I'm afraid of my first feature film. I'm afraid of many things. But that's good. It keeps you on the edge. And you want to always be like that. So, there you go. If it can't eat you, you will eat it. Thank you very much.